Hey, everyone. Welcome. It's Isaya again for another episode of my podcast, Isaya's Inspiring Evenings. And tonight we are discussing with a special guest. And we are in the series called The Broom, The Brush, and the Beyond. So, what is that series again? So, these are specific conversations with a guest about the intersection of art, spirituality, mostly centering around the iterations of spirituality that are connected with nature, mysticism, galactic origins, ancient traditions, paganism, forgotten rituals, or mythology. These are live conversations, and we are sharing them very soon, as in tomorrow. And tonight I have a very special guest. I have Vivyana, the dragon mystic. So, hello, Viviana. Welcome.
Hello, Isaiah. Is so happy. I'm so happy to be here. We've had this on the books for like months and months.
Yes, we do. We did, or whatever. So, before going further into the topic, which is, I'm going to go for the title because it's a big one. Embrace empowerment and personal growth through dragon wisdom. Yes, I've said the word. I've said the word dragon. Stay put. But before we go into the dragon things, I'm going to present a little bit of what I know of Viviana, and I'm going to do that in the very simplest way of reading her bio because, that's the easiest way. So, Viviana is called the Dragon Mystic. She channels dragons. Yes, she does. And their empowering messages and wisdom. She's an international best-selling author, healer, teacher, and speaker. She met her first dragon, Ashara. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Am I good?
Close enough. Yeah, Ashara.
One sleepless summer night in 2023. After the initial surprise and disbelief wore off, despite her 13-year spiritual journey at the time, Ashara became V's dragon spirit guide, sharing her profound dragon wisdom and guidance. Connecting with Ashara catalyzed a greater connection with dragons, and V has now channeled over 100 different dragons. Wow. On a mission to share the empowering, transformative, and magical power of dragon wisdom, she is currently writing a channeled dragon wisdom book and creating an accompanying oracle card deck. I'm excited. V also shares dragon guidance readings from her upcoming oracle deck and supports others in connecting with their own dragon spirit guides through her dragon connection coaching. You will find all of these links and connections either above or below the audio or the video, with wherever you're watching or listening to us. Everything will be there. And V has a special gift for everyone. It's called 5 Steps to Connect and Commune with Your Own Dragon Spirit Guide. It's a booklet, and you can receive it by clicking through the links that are somewhere around this video. Voila. So I've done all the official presentations. And now let's get into the conversation. So I've known you for a little more than a year, I think. We
Yep.
obviously have never met because you live on the other side of the pond, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I'm in Roslyn, British Columbia, Canada.
Okay, and I'm in France, as everybody starts to know by now. So obviously, if we've never met for now, which, never say never, but we have met on the internet. And when I met you, you were not talking about dragons because it was before that summer night of 2023. So I'm going to ask the question, although you did say that you didn't want to go lengthy in that, but what happened? Where did the dragons come from? Where did that arrive?
Well, in my bio, it said that I connected with dragons in August of 2023.
Hmm.
And before that, I have been on my spiritual journey for 13 years.
Hmm.
And so I had, several angels. I have 3 angel spirit guides, several past loved ones that I have as spirit guides as well. So the whole spirit guide concept was not new to me. But at the
Hmm.
time, I thought, like most other people thought on the planet, that dragons were mystical creatures in literature and art and weren't actually real. Like, I loved dragons as a teenager.
Mhm.
My solace, my refuge as a teenager was reading Anne McCaffrey's Dragon Riders of Pern series, right? Like, I loved dragons and I always wanted to have a dragon and or a fire lizard, whatever, it didn't matter. And it happened, it just took 40 years.
I love that. It
But
just so happened.
it just so
I
happened.
know the
But
feeling.
but how my connection with dragons started was at the beginning of August. Again, I didn't think dragons were a real thing. Dragons started showing up everywhere for me. They were all over my Facebook feed, and I was not in any dragon Facebook groups. So they were all over my Facebook feed. They were showing up in my emails from multiple people. I was seeing them in real life everywhere. I would see them in the clouds. I would see dragon shapes in the clouds. I would see dragon shapes in abstract, like, color patterns everywhere. And after 3 weeks, you would think I would know, and it would have happened sooner, but it took me 3 weeks to realize, I wonder if there's a dragon spirit guide who's trying to connect with me. And so here I am in the middle of the night, and I'm scrolling through Facebook again, and I see yet another dragon, and I ask this question to myself, to my intuition. And I was expecting something really big to happen, like some, like, monumental thing.
Ta-da!
Yeah. No, nothing. And I was like, "Okay, well, maybe I am mistaken." But because I, at the time, was teaching intuitive development, I'm an intuitive empath. I was crystal healing. I was teaching metaphysics. I was the
Mhm.
founder of metaphysical school. Anyway, I did when I asked myself that question, I did feel a powerful intuitive nudge to pick up one of my crystals on my headboard. So I was in bed and my headboard is full of crystals and this particular
I know
crystal
the
has, yeah, right. My this particular crystal has been there for a year and a half. But I felt this really powerful nudge to pick it up, and this is the stone that I picked up, and it's called Preseli Bluestone, and it's also called Stonehenge stone because it is the type of crystal that the inner ring of Stonehenge is made out of, and it's called Preseli Bluestone because it's only found in the Preseli Hills in Wales.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Thank you.
I pick up this stone in my left hand because that's where, that's my most intuitive reception
Mhm.
receiving hand. And so I picked this up, and that is when the miraculous thing happened. So as soon as I picked up this crystal in my left hand, I felt, oh, thanks. Ashara's like, just like reminiscing. Anyway, I pick up the crystal and I feel this powerful energy come out of the crystal and come into my hand, up my arm, into my heart, and then up and down my whole body from my head into my toes. And so this is not new for me. Again,
Mhm.
I'm familiar with spirit guides, but I didn't know, like, I knew it was a very powerful s spirit guide, and I knew that it was female, and that's all I knew, and I said, "Hello? Who are you?" And she said to me, the very first words was, "I am the dragon crystal guardian of Preseli Bluestone." And I was like, "Okay, dragon, interesting. All right." And I was like,
Okay.
"Tell me more." And she said to me that many dragons guard Earth Mother, like, dragons call Gaia, our planet, Earth Mother. So many dragons guard crystals, but not all dragons guard crystals, and not all crystals have dragons. And I was like, "Okay." Like, the whole concept of dragons being guardians for crystal, like, I've been a crystal healing teacher. I had been for almost a decade at that
Mhm.
point, and so this was the first time I was encountering crystals have guardians. Like,
Mhm.
this was a huge thing for
New
me, and I was like,
information.
yes, it was totally new information, and so dragons real, crystals have dragon guardians, like, this is amazing. So then my dragon and this dragon start having this conversation, and I was like, I find it kinda hard to believe that all of Gaia's crystals have dragons. That's a lot of dragons.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
like brand new to dragons, didn't know anything about them, and had been working with crystals for almost 10 years and like first encounter with dragon. And I'm like, disbelief, right? So in
Mm.
my bio, when it says the disbelief wore off, it was because one of my first conversations with a dragon was, I don't believe you. And she said to
Yeah,
me,
which is kind of very common, not particularly with dragons, but the appearance of spirit guides or, guardians or whatever that, you can't see and touch. For a lot of us, at some point, there is kind of, yeah, well, maybe not.
yeah,
It's like, no, I don't think so. And it takes a while, I think, and it's good that they are insistent, isn't it? That they want to connect.
well, the interesting thing about Ashara was when I told her, I find that kind of hard to believe, was she said to me, it matters not what you believe. And because I didn't just accept everything that she had to tell me, that I actually used my discernment on this powerful spiritual being that I had just connected with, and I voiced my disbelief, she respected me more.
Mm.
And so when I said, I find that kind of hard to believe, it was at that moment that she decided to become my dragon spirit guide. And so this doesn't happen with everyone who has a dragon spirit guide, but Ashara rests within me above my heart chakra. And so she is always there. She was always a presence. So I don't know if, I've had three angel spirit guides since 2010. Um, None of them rest within me. So Ashara does. She rests within me. And after that, three more dragons decided to rest within me as well. So I have a immediate dragon family of 4 who are within me, but I have connected now with over 100 different dragons, but like they're not inside of me. They're
Hmm.
just,
Yeah.
they're
Hmm.
like any other spirit guide. You talk to them when you feel like connecting and have a
Hmm.
question, want to talk. So yeah, that that was connecting with Ashara, my first dragon.
Wow, that's a big one. That's a big one. So I'm going to play dumb, which I do very nicely, and ask the stupid questions that everyone wants to know, but nobody dares to ask. So I'm going to ask, why did she decide to rest within you? Do you know? Did you ask?
I did. And she
Maybe.
said, I so Priscilla Bluestone, although this crystal was on my headboard for a year and a half, I had actually been wearing a Priscilla Bluestone bracelet. So I have a Priscilla Bluestone and a pegmatite bracelet, and these are the ones that I wear all the time. Like, I'm a crystal healer. I am usually dripping in different crystals depending on what I need, but these are the ones that I wear all the time. And so I asked her why she decided to rest within me, and she said, your energy feels like home.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. She said that my energy feels very comforting for her, and it might be because I'd been wearing Priscilla Bluestone and
Hmm.
my energy resonates with Priscilla Bluestone. And so it felt very familiar for her. But one of the reasons why she connected with me is because right now there is a huge dragon awakening happening on on the planet. So many, many, many people are connecting with dragons for the first time. I am not
Yeah.
the only one. There are many, many of us.
Yeah,
And
but what you described earlier on about they seem to appear everywhere. It happens to me this year. So, and I know I'm kind of not that much of a dragon person to start with, but it's like all over the place now. And I have very, very many good friends who are connecting up and down, right and left. And that's really interesting, I think, because there must be a reason why it didn't happen before. I'm curious.
the reason why is because the dragons have realized that humanity is at a crucial point in our collective spiritual evolution, and they want to help us progress along our path and our spiritual journeys. Dragons are connecting with humans all over the planet to help us in our spiritual evolution.
It's really interesting because I had a conversation with a good friend who fell into dragon thing. Let's put it this way, and she said exactly the same thing,
I'm not alone.
exactly those words, and I find that really cool that you're not alone, because we don't need to be alone. It doesn't matter to be the first or the only one. What matters is that we can serve as transmitter of this wisdom to everyone.
Exactly.
So I'm really excited that you get to be a voice for the dragons as well, for other people. So who are the other three? Because we got Ashara, but
Yes.
I want the names and
So they've connected with me kind of sequentially, right? The second dragon who decided to rest within me, her name is Septera, SEP apostrophe TARA. And she is the dragon crystal guardian of Septarian crystal. And she connected with me, I think, in December-ish, and decided that she wanted to rest within me as well. She's quite a bit younger than Ashara, and she required a little bit of confidence building, which we have worked on. And it's in my book, like the whole story of connecting with Septera and how her journey has changed, because dragons change as well. The third dragon who connected with me, her name is Stella, and she was not a dragon crystal guardian when we first connected. She connected with me. She's quite young. She would be like a mid-teenager-ish in relative age to humans. And she was not a dragon crystal guardian, and she is white and pink. And when she connected with me, she was very much in need of healing. And so she connected with me because I am a healer, but also because Ashara is a dragon healer. Like she helps heal other dragons as well, in addition to humans. And so I, you know, when Stella got to a certain point in her healing journey, I said to her, your energy is very similar to pink tourmaline on quartz, because I've worked with many, many
Mhm.
crystals as a crystal healer. And she was like, oh, what's that like? And so she went out into the world and she found some pink tourmaline on quartz. And so she decided to become the dragon crystal guardian of that
Oh, I
crystal.
love
And
that.
so she is now the dragon crystal guardian of pink tourmaline on quartz. And the fourth is my baby dragon, and her name is Halcyon, and she is blue and purple. And she is like this big. And she was given into my keeping from a not dragon crystal guardian. She was given into my keeping from the ancient black dragon. Some people call him the alpha dragon. He is a galactic dragon, so he is not from Earth. He predates our planet. He is
Mhm.
very, very, very old. And he connected with me, and he decided that this baby dragon, you know, should stay with me. And so he gave her into my keep. I don't call her, like, she's not my dragon. She she was given into my keeping. It's
You're
a very specific
fostering. You're
way of
fostering.
fostering, exactly. So I was like, why am I fostering this baby dragon? And he didn't really tell me. He like, it's very vague, right? But what I've come to realize is that I'm kind of the foster mother, and so I'm helping Halcyon socialize with humans by understanding the human experience through me, but
Mhm.
also understanding other humans through my connection with other humans. But also she is socializing with other dragons through me, because I am connected with
Mhm.
many other dragons. And so she has Ashara and Septera and Stella always with her. But the other dragons that connect with me, they also connect with her, Halcyon.
I love that.
And so some of the dragons that I've connected with have just like, when people love babies and they just go like, "Oh my god, some of the dragons that I've connected with have done that with Halcyon, and they just fall in love with her, and so Halcyon gets to meet lots of dragons and lots of people, and so we are just kind of helping her socialize and
Mhm.
learn, because
I
dragons
love
need
that.
to learn too, right?
I love that. So I was going to ask that, but you kind of answered the question. Um, so you mentioned that you were having a conversation with Ashara. So that means that you're using your clairaudience, right?
Yes.
But you also mentioned colors, so you can see those dragons.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
So I
Please
am
tell me everything. I
okay.
can see, I have the images popping into my head at this minute.
My Claire gifts in I don't even like they kind of change in order of dominance, but my
Yeah.
Claire
Yeah.
gifts are clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. So when I first connected with Ashara, I felt her. So that was the clairsentience.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that she was a spiritual, like she was a powerful spiritual being, and that she was female. So that was my claircognizance. So
Mm-hmm.
the clair knowing. I heard her voice first. That was my clairaudience, and that's how I communicate with her is just through voice. Like she's a voice in my head. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, that is not a popular thing to say to most people or
Yeah,
muggles.
you
I
know,
call them
so
muggles, but
yeah, but the we are here in a series that is called the Broom, the Brush, and the Beyond. So it's fine, you know. We have voices. Yes, we all have.
exactly. We have
Um,
that's how I communicate, and I can see her. I know what I know what she looks like. I know what my all not all the dragons actually, because sometimes they don't share that information. Dragons get to
mhm,
choose what they do and don't share with you. But yeah, I generally see dragons as well. So they when I see a dragon, they have a color, like they have a body type, you know,
mhm,
the dragon crystal guardians generally have a dragon body that they have 4 limbs and 2 wings.
mhm.
Not not all of them. One of my dragons is a water dragon, and she doesn't have wings, and she told me she doesn't have wings because they get in the way of swimming, like, so she didn't
That makes
want them, and I
sense.
was like, "Okay." But yeah, I see they have a color, and the more I get to know them, the more details I see in their colors. The different sometimes they have a different eye color than they have
Hmm.
scales or whatever it is their surface texture is. And they have a relative size, that sort of, that sort of thing. Like Ashara is the biggest of my Dragon Crystal Guardian, or like my personal dragon's not the biggest of the Dragon Crystal Guardians for sure. She's not. And then Halcyon is like, she's kind of this biggish. But yeah. So that's all my
So
Claire.
yeah. So how did you know that Ashara was a dragon and not, just another spirit guide? Did
Well,
you
she
ask?
told
Did she?
me,
Oh, she told you.
and I believed her. I believed that piece of information when she told me. But then when I connected with the next dragon,
Yeah.
I realized that dragons have a specific type of frequency to them that I can tell the difference between an angel and a dragon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's they they call the dragons call it an energy the they tell themselves apart by the flavor of their energy. So they
Mm-hmm.
call it flavor and I call it frequency. But
Yeah.
it's just a type of frequency. And after I'd connected with about 30 different dragons, most of them dragon crystal guardians. So, I've at this point I've probably connected with 100 and I don't know, 20ish
Mm-hmm.
dragons, and
Mm-hmm.
88 of them are dragon crystal guardians. So that's my percentage. And
Are we? Is there a finite number of dragons, you think, or you
no,
believe, or there is an infinite number? So, if I were to become a guardian, a communicator with dragons, I could encounter another 120 that would have nothing to do with yours.
correct.
Okay, interesting.
Dragons are universally ubiquitous. They are everywhere.
Mm,
I didn't know this when I connected with the first one, but now I do. Dragons are everywhere. So there are dragons specific to Gaia, but
mm-hmm,
there are galactic dragons that are much bigger than our galaxy. There are dragons from different universes. There are dragons from different dimensions.
mm-hmm.
They are everywhere.
And there's an infinite number of them that
Yes.
we can or might want to connect with.
Yes.
I love that.
For people who are really connected with angels, I try to explain that dragons are spiritual beings like angels, but have more teeth. That's how like, they have, they have 4 like, most of the dragons that I connect with, not all of them, but most of them, they have 4 limbs and 2 wings. That's like angels, right?
Yeah.
Most angels that people have connected with kind of see that form, that
Hmm,
shape.
hmm.
So, yeah, dragons are just a little different.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not? I love
Mhm.
that. So, where was I? I had a question, but now I forgot it. So, how did you know it was a dragon? And so, does that mean that ever since you've become connected with dragons, so how did you decide to connect with more? Did you,
It happened.
was it?
It was
It
not
happened. It
intentional.
was not an intention. Oh,
Nope.
that's interesting.
The second dragon that connected with me, so Ashara was the first, and she decided to become my dragon spirit guide, and she rests within me. The second dragon, I felt a male dragon presence near my consciousness, but he didn't want to talk with me for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I was like, "You are welcome to connect with me whenever you're ready. You are welcome to my thoughts, feelings, beliefs, memories. You are welcome to all of the parts of me to get to know me as much or as little as you want. And you can connect more deeply when you're ready." And so one day in the fall, I was riding my motorcycle on the twisty roads that we live on, and he thought this was awesome. And he connected with me because I was riding motorcycle and I was happy and joyful. So that's something else about dragons, is that they want to join in your joy.
Mm,
They
I
will
love
be
that.
there for
Mm.
you when you need them, when we are not joyful, but they are very happy to join in our joyful activities. So he finally connected with me and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm riding my motorcycle." And it was really hard for me to ride my motorcycle and talk to a dragon at the same time, because I don't know if you ride, but you want to have like your $10 of attention, as much of your $10 of attention on your motorcycling, because otherwise bad things can happen. But anyway, we managed. And this dragon turned out to be, his name is Gar, and he is the dragon crystal guardian of androdite garnet in Japan. He is a very dark red dragon with iridescent scales. So that is kind of the signature kind of look,
Mhm.
difference of androdite garnet is it's iridescent. And so I was like, "Okay, I connected with the Japanese dragon, okay." And so Gar is very different from Ashara. So Ashara is like a mature dragon. She is a grounding dragon. She is very healing. And these I have divided into dragon energy archetypes. So
Mhm.
now that I've connected with so many, I kind of have 8 dragon energy archetypes, and they're just like certain frequencies to their dragon greater signature, right? Energy signature.
And I'm
And
guessing
Gar,
all of that, just to remind people, is going to be in your incoming book. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
my dragon
Yes.
wisdom book for sure. Yes. All of that, all the dragon energy archetypes, but so Gar is not he's not a healing dragon. He is a his dragon energy archetypes are freedom and grounding. So if there are 8 dragon energy archetypes, 4 of them represent the elements and 4 of them represent purpose. So 4 of them are, so there's grounding for earth and
Mhm.
flowing for water, warrior for fire, and freedom for air. And then the other 4 are purpose, and they are heart, healing, wise, and cosmic. Anyway, that's all in the
Beautiful.
book. They actually match our 8 chakras. If you divide the function of the heart chakra into healing
Mhm.
heart,
Mhm.
which is how I do it, like the green heart chakra in the center of your chest would be healing for me. And then I call it the higher heart chakra, which is
Yeah.
pink. It's
Yeah.
related to
I agree.
the
Mm.
thymus. Not everybody does. Like some people are really, you know, um, committed
I
to
like
their the major chakras, but
Well, I have a healing modal called Rise, which functions with the Greek goddesses, and there's 8 of them, and they are connected with the 8 chakras. So
same with dragons, same with dragon energy archetypes. So Gars are freedom, so air, and grounding for earth. So those are his dragon energy archetypes.
I
But
love that.
yeah,
And you mentioned genders, so I'm going to have to ask: do we have males, females? Do we have more? Do we have
there's more.
unknown?
There's more. So far I've connected with 120 some odd dragons. There are male dragons and female dragons, and there are dragons who have decided to not choose between male and female.
Mhm,
So, for example, Nuuk, Nuuk, is the dragon crystal guardian of Numite, which is a black and sparkly crystal out of Greenland.
mhm.
And they have a very, very powerful feminine energy and a very, very powerful masculine energy. And they decided, I don't need to choose.
Nope.
And
Obviously.
so Nuke is like non-binary,
Mm.
and that is fine. And so they were the first non-binary dragon I connected with. And then not very long ago, I connected with another non-binary dragon, and they are the dragon crystal guardian of Pegmatite, and their name is Harmony.
Oh, I love that.
And um and they also decided I don't need to choose.
Mm.
Why choose? So yes, there are male and females and
So I'm
non-binary.
guessing that, going from, "I don't really believe that dragons are real," to meeting 120, your everyday life must have slightly changed, hasn't
Well,
it?
before I connected with Ashara, I was the founder of Metaphysical School with my birth name, my given name, and that was my passion job. And it was myself and 40 other metaphysical teachers from around the world, and we offered courses on everything metaphysical, from crystal healing, energy healing, divination, um, connecting with guides, astrology, everything. And after I connected with Ashara, I was like, I need to share this dragon wisdom. I
Mm,
need to share the information and the empowering wisdom that the dragons are sharing with me. And I can't do both.
mm,
I
yeah.
can't run metaphysical school and share dragon wisdom at the same time. And so I decided to let metaphysical school go. And it was very hard. It took many months of procrastinating, but eventually happened. And when it, in about March, yes, the beginning of March, I was given the opportunity to share dragon wisdom in a multi-author book.
Mhm,
And I knew that I could not share it with my birth name, with my given name. I knew that everything that had to do with dragons couldn't be shared as Tina Dubois. It needed a different name.
mhm.
And so I had to figure out what my dragon name was going to be. And that is where Vivyana came from. And Vivyana is the English version of my Lemurian name, which is the very first incarnation I ever remembered, like past life incarnation
Mhm.
of my life on Earth. Predates humanity, predates, people on the planet, but I know many aspects of my life in Lemuria, and I know that my name was Viviana. Again, English version. It's the easy to pronounce
We do what we
version, and
can, yeah.
and the easy to write version, even though there's, I and a Y and all the things. But yeah, so I asked the publisher, would you mind if I published with a different name? And she said, absolutely, you can publish with whatever name you want. And so in March 1st, when the publisher asked me, yeah, I would love for you to join my multi-author book called Manifesting Magical Moments. That is when Viviana, the Dragon Mystic business, was born. And the next day, I bought the dragonmystic.com domain,
Domain.
and it took me 2 weeks to set up a email, website, my first offer, which was Dragon Connection Coaching. And yeah, all of it because, can I show my book?
Sure,
Okay with
sure.
that?
So for people who are on the audio right now, Viviana is sharing with us the book, the so Manifesting Magical Moments. It's a
Yes,
multi-author book. It's
yes.
beautiful.
It is
Um,
gorgeous.
it's so exciting to have the physical
Yes.
product in your hands, isn't it? So for those of you listening only, you will have to go and click on the links above or below to just go and have a look at the book, and maybe, if you've been good, you can buy it.
It's available on Amazon as ebook, paperback, and hardcover at the moment, so
Awesome. Awesome. So
yeah,
this one is already available. Your
one is
solo
available.
author book, Dragon Wisdom, is getting ready at this minute,
I am
right?
currently writing it, so is it okay to say what day it is that we're recording?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so
This is
today
September
is
2024, in case
yeah,
you're listening to us in the future.
we're lis so it as of today, September 2024, I have written 64 out of 64 dragon chapters.
Woohoo!
So each chapter shares a different dragon crystal guardian, and it shares their wisdom, the message that they want to share with humanity, as well as a whole bunch of other information, their dragon essentials, their crystal properties, dragon insights, the deeper wisdom behind their dragon message. Some things I'm not going to tell you because they're going to be I'm going to leave them as a surprise. And
Awesome.
then also connecting with that dragon's energy. What does it feel like to connect with that energy? What does that dragon help you with on your personal and spiritual growth journey? So there are some dragons, and a lot of that has to do with their dragon energy archetype and also the message that they have to share. So, for example, the message that Ashara wants to share with humanity is respect your body always. 2 sentences. Respect your body always. And then the deeper wisdom behind that is to remind us that our body is our sacred vessel and to listen to it and to respect it and to give it what it needs, whether that's sleep or water or good food or exercise or whatever it is, that we are here incarnated as a physical body. And that is a privilege. And we should respect our vessel, our sacred vessel, and give it what it needs.
I love that. I love that. That's what that was going to be my next question, actually. So you're even answering the questions that I'm not asking, which is so, okay, you connected with dragons. Great. How can we? What can dragons do for me, who is not at this moment connected with dragons? So let's say I read your book, and how can they help me in my life slash spiritual journey?
Okay, so my book, perhaps the title and subtitle will help you and will help answer that question. The book is
Hmm.
called Dragon Wisdom: Quantum Leap Your Spiritual Evolution with Empowering Channeled Messages and Inspired Action from the Dragon Crystal Guardians. So in the book, there are 64 dragons, and each one has a message that they want to share with humanity at this time. I shared Ashara's.
Hmm.
There are 63 others, and each one of their messages have like holds wisdom, holds
Hmm.
healing
Hmm.
codes, holds wisdom for our spiritual journey that we can integrate into our being to help us with our personal growth,
Hmm.
empowerment, and spiritual evolution. And so if you're not currently connected with any dragons, you can use the book to connect with that dragon's energy. You can also read their wisdom and read the deeper meaning behind their wisdom, and what resonates with you, you can integrate into your being
Hmm.
and use that to help you on your spiritual journey.
Awesome. So it's like they are dedicated to helping humanity as a whole.
That is why dragons are connecting with humans right now.
I love
It's
that.
and it's not just dragons from Earth, from Gaia. It's not just Gaia's dragons. It's like I said, the I connected with the ancient black dragon. He doesn't have a name. Not all dragons have names, just so you know. Some people call him Alpha Dragon, but anyway, he is a universal dragon, and he connects with many humans, many beings, and yeah, so it's not just guys dragons who can connect with humans. It's
Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
galactic, universal, interdimensional dragons as well.
Yeah, and they are not. If I hear you, they're not like, well, let's say our guardian angel, that we each have only one, kind of,
Well, I
and
have
the one is
3
for us.
guardian angels, so, you know.
Yeah, no, but I mean, those are supposed, or in some theories, are supposed to be your guardian angels, whereas the dragons are not your dragons per se. They can
Nope.
be my dragons as well.
Yep.
And
If you wanna connect with Ashara and connect with her type of
Mhm,
healing, she's a very grounding dragon, and her healing is through the earth. If you her type of healing resonates with you, then by all means connect with Ashara, just because
mhm.
she's, she rests within me. So dragons are like archangels at a certain level. Um, some
With
dragons,
more teeth, as we were saying.
yeah, but they can split their consciousness. They can be in
Mhm.
more than one place, right? So it's not just one person on the planet who can
No,
connect with Archangel Michael, right?
no.
Dragons are the same.
Mhm,
Once they get to a certain, I'm gonna say, age ability, because when I first
mhm,
connected with Stella, she didn't know how to do that. She didn't know how to split her consciousness. Now she does. So now she can be many places at once.
mhm,
But like, yes, many dragons can be connected with more than
mhm.
one person, for sure.
So you can, I can get your book and make new friends.
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely.
I love that.
That's why they want, like, Ashara said to me, I asked her, "Are you okay with me sharing the things that you're sharing with me with other people?" And she said, "I would not have connected with a teacher if I didn't."
Yeah. Mm,
So the dragons who connect with me, they know that I'm going to share
yeah,
their wisdom because that is my current
yeah.
purpose.
That's
I
what Athena said to me.
Yeah,
We choose who we connect with because we want the information to be available for the largest number of people.
exactly. Exactly.
That's so cool.
Thank
It's like it's like you open up a completely new bunch of friends, a playground for us to go and
Yes,
investigate, and see who, which of these dragons can I feel a resonance with, and who I can get in contact with, and then hopefully, since there's an infinite number of them, connect with so many others.
exactly. That's exactly it. The really cool thing about the Dragon Crystal Guardians that I work with
Hmm.
primarily is that if you're already working with crystals and crystal healing energy, this is a deeper layer
Hmm.
of working with crystals. And you're like, "Oh, okay, I really love smoky quartz." Well, I wonder if there's a smoky quartz Dragon Crystal Guardian. You know how long it took me to connect with the smoky Dragon Crystal Guardian of Smoky Quartz? I can tell you because I have that information, but I was like, I love smoky quartz. It's one of my favorites, one of my like go-tos, and it took
Hmm.
like a really long time. But anyway, it's like it's this other layer of working with
You
crystals.
were mission to connect with that particular dragon and you couldn't, or you were looking for a
Yes.
dragon.
There are some dragon crystal guardians that I really, really, really wanted to connect with.
Hmm. He was
And
that was not one of them.
I have now. His name is Com, Kom, and it took I'm just looking at my spreadsheet, my dragon chapters and my dragon crystal guardian oracle deck. Comb was 15, so that was the 15th dragon that I had connected with. Yeah, so not quickly. There were
So
some
yeah,
things,
you mentioned that, and I forgot to re-mention it outside of your bio. So is the Oracle deck going to come at the same time as the book, or is it going to be two different things?
two different things. The
Two different. Okay.
The Dragon
So we
Wisdom
have
book
to wait
is
for the
going
Oracle
to
deck.
come out first. First in ebook and then in print. And then as soon as the print version is out, I will start working on the Oracle deck after. I started working on the Oracle deck first and realized that there was so much information for each dragon. There was too much for an Oracle card guidebook.
I have the same thing with a completely different topic, but yeah, I tried to make it fit into an Oracle deck, but then no, sometimes it needs a real book to start with.
So the book, I started doing the guidebook, the Oracle card guidebook first, and then I was like, this is too much information. So then I just, okay, the book is coming first, and then I have the really difficult task of paring it down to what is going in the Oracle card deck
Good
from the
luck.
book chapter.
Good luck with that one. Yeah, I know the feeling.
That's a problem for another day. I don't have to worry about that.
Don't worry about that right now. Yeah. Awesome.
Totally.
So, is this available to absolutely anyone? Or do we need to be spiritually evolved? Do we need,
Connecting with dragons?
Yeah.
It is, if you are open to connecting with dragons, it is available to you.
Okay.
All you need is an open heart and mind. And that's it.
I love that because there are so many spiritual teachers that, kind of have you
Work through
jump
me.
through hoops.
You can only work through me. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Or just jump through hoops, like, oh, you're not evolved enough, you're not you're still in the third dimension, so you can't, or
Yeah, no, that's not me.
At the moment, I'm really annoyed with that. It seems to be appearing everywhere, and I really resent the idea that spiritual helpers, whichever they are, would have us pass exams to know if we're good enough, capable enough. So I love that. Dragons are not.
No. Dragons want to connect with individual humans right now. They want to help us progress on our spiritual journeys and individually, and our spiritual evolution as a collective, like a humanity collective.
Is there a collective of the dragons?
Of course, there are many collectives. So
no, I mean, do they have meetings? Do they have,
well, they have
board
consciousness collectives, right? The 64th card in my Oracle deck and the 64th chapter is a message from the Dragon Crystal Guardian collective as a whole. It's just a collective consciousness. But that's just one collective consciousness for dragons. There are many, many, many others. I haven't connected with other, collective consciousnesses from dragons, but that's the one that I have. Other people have. There are people in other Facebook groups that I'm in who channel the Dragon Council or whatever dragon collective name that they have for them. I think there's one, the Dragon Heart Council, and the General Dragon Council. Anyway, there are more than one collective for sure.
Awesome. I love that. I really I can feel how accessible this is, and how much the word that comes to me is joy there is in connecting with dragons. Would you agree with that? Or
100%.
Because for me,
my favorite word for connecting with dragons and what dragons can give us is empowerment. But everything about working with dragons is joyful. Everything.
I love that because, sometimes healing or self-growth can be taken so seriously. And I love that your story about the motorcycle is, has made my day. The idea that, we can have spiritual guides and helpers that are also about the fun and the joy that literally, I think, lifts my spirit every day. So thank you so much. We have been talking for a long time already. So I'm going to remind people that they will find everything about you below or above the video or the audio. There is also a free gift that I don't remember the title of. Do you remember it?
5 steps to connect and commune with your own dragon spirit guide.
So as we were saying, you don't need Vivyana, you don't need me for sure. You can also work with Vivyana in any case. So you will find again links to her website and to several offers. You can buy her collective book called Manifesting Magical Moments. Is that correct? Yeah.
Correct.
And you can wait impatiently to read her amazing Dragon Wisdom book with me and then wait another time more impatiently to get the oracle your hands on the oracle deck.
One
So
thing at a
thank
time.
obviously, but it seems that I'm not pushing for a timeline, but it seems that this is happening kind of fast because you mentioned summer 2023, and then we're 1 year after that, and you've got more than 100 dragon meetings, so I'm guessing this is not a slow motion thing happening. But it seems to have brought you so much joy, and I'm so excited to see that. So thank you so much for sharing with me and with everyone about that. I'm very honored to have been introduced to the dragon world and to Ashara and her other friends and companions. I will talk to you soon. Dear listeners who are listening, this is an episode that is going to be released soon, as in tomorrow. You will again find all the links to Viviana below the video here. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye for now.